Hello. Guys, I don't know how much I have. I don't know how long I have on this live because my battery is low. It is late at night. I want to go home because I don't want to drive at night. But if I don't do this live now, I'm never going to do it. If I don't do this live today, I'm never, ever going to do it. So let me hop straight into what it is. I don't even think I've practiced enough, but I'll speak because I'm very inspired, okay? So, 25 July 2022. Hey, Tati! The way ko ratang thing. Anyway, okay. So, July 25, 2022 happens, right? And I released a video about how in 2017 I got the job I wanted. 2018 I started the job. 2019 I went to Dubai. 2020 I paid off. What did I do in 2020? I survived. 2021 I paid off the car that I had bought in 2018. 2022 I bought this massive house that I live in by myself, right? All these things happened, and naturally people were just like, we want what you have. We want these results. And let me be honest, I nearly fell into the trap. And what did I do? I put up a retreat. I was like, guys, come, let me teach you how to get these results. And something my coach keeps saying, and I never understood it until I sat down and I actually thought about it and I looked at my life. My coach always says, the order is be, do, and have. Be, do, and have. But we mess up the order. We want to have without doing, and we do the things, or we try to do things without being the people. I don't know if you get me, but I'll explain it Gamnandi and you'll understand it. So I had to call off the retreat. And the reason I called off the retreat is because I was going to do something dangerous. And that thing was, I was going to help people attain to a level of success or get things that they won't be able to sustain because they are not the people that does the things that can sustain what they now have. Okay? And let me track back. So what then came to my mind, or the realization I had to make on my own, because I really had to think about this. And the realization was, Mpumi, you need to be the person that does the things that will get you the things you want to have. So be the person that does the things that will enable you to have the things that you want. Let's track back. 2017, I'm stuck behind a desk. I'm designing minds. I'm designing mind dumps. I hate every waking moment of that year. My alarm rings and I want to die because I know I'm about to waste away at an office, designing a mind, designing mind dumps, working on a spreadsheet, dealing with a toxic work environment, right? And then I said to myself, no. There's something fundamentally wrong about me in this situation. I am not in alignment. I need to find what it is that will, when the alarm rings, I'm just like, yes, I'm getting up and I want to do that thing, right? When I come back from work, I'm like, yes, my day was fulfilling because I did exactly what I needed to do in this day. I knew that something is wrong, and this gap that I have, this hole that I have, can't be filled by money. Can't be filled by a man, can't be filled with other things, right? Having the things. I needed to be somebody. My life fundamentally needed to change. And then I decided, you know what? I need to discover my purpose. I need to be a person who wakes up every day to fulfill their purpose. And that is when I started changing. That is when I started sending out my applications, sending out my CVs, doing the things that I knew I needed to get out of that place. The mindset was, I'm not in purpose. The mindset was, I am not in alignment. The mindset was, I need to be a person that does the things that will bring me joy. In that moment, all that mattered to me was joy. Guys, I hated my life. I hated my job. And what I wanted to have was a fulfilling job. And what that meant was then to do the things that would get me there. And that was to apply for these certain jobs. But I first had to be the person that says, I need to get out of here. I needed to be a person that is a purpose practitioner. I had no idea what that word meant then, or that term meant then, but I knew that something was fundamentally wrong. My life needed to change, and so I made the change. 2018, the day after my birthday, I get a call to say, you've been accepted at this job. Now, I'll be very transparent. Working at the bank for me was a means to an end. I knew that I need to go on a journey of knowing what my purpose is, so that eventually at some point I live that purpose out. And so I joined the bank as a means to an end. And then what happened? I started discovering me. I started discovering the people, because being at the bank actually opened me up and exposed me to the people that are attached to my purpose. I didn't know it back then, but it started making sense to me when I was having conversations, when I was opening my eyes and opening my ears, and people were saying, hey, do you like it here? We hate it here. We want to leave. And I'm just like, you've got the cars. You've got the houses. Guys, you dress so well. You've got the English. You've got the promotions. You've got the positions that other people don't. But here's the thing. They had the thing. And remember, here's the order. Be, do, have. They had the things, but it wasn't enough for them, because they weren't doing the things that would give them what they ultimately wanted. And the reason for that is they weren't the people that can do the things that can get those outcomes. And so I was like, oh. And then for me, I was like, okay, no. There's a problem here. But the job that I got was because I realized that I needed to be somebody else. I needed to do something else in order for me to have the joy that I wanted. And so that was my move into the bank, and I got the job. And that year was discovery. That year was me getting into coaching. I got a coach because I realized, okay, I've learned so much about myself. I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to impact the people that I now know I need to impact. I don't know how to turn these skills and these mindsets and this wisdom, I don't know what to do with who I was and what I had. And I invested in a coach. I had to be a person that is coachable. I had to be a person that invests in coaching so that I can know what to do in order to have the purpose aligned to the profession, or the profession aligned to my purpose. It's always been there. This be, do, and have. And so I invested in an overseas coach. Every month I was probably paying 2.5 every month to be in her program, and I paid that amount of money for almost a whole year, if not more. Really understanding if she had a program, I would attend that program. I did the things. Why? Because at that moment I was a purpose practitioner. I was a person who said, I'm going to pursue my purpose at whatever cost. I was that person, or I was in the process of becoming that person. And so I was doing the things. And then let's continue. In 2018, and then I buy a car. But here's the thing. When I was an intern, right, designing mines and designing mine dumps, the problem was I wasn't earning enough. I wasn't making a good living in order for me to get a car. But because I left that situation, I intentionally left that situation because I wasn't going to be the person I know I needed to be in that space. What did I do? I changed. And I got paid more. And I got my car. Because I decided to be and do. What did I now have? My car. I have this car, great. 2019, I'm thinking, what would make me the happiest? What would make me the happiest? And I thought in that year, let me travel. Was I in a relationship then? Probably not. But there was somebody who was on my case about, hey, let's get together, whatever. Anyway, when I went away overseas on my own, they were offended. Because this was my journey, right? What people don't know is that when I was in Dubai in 2019, I actually recorded my first course. So I think back then it was called what? I can't remember what it was, but I recorded my course, and that was the point. To go away, get perspective, and record this course. And when I come back, I just air it. But more than that, it only made sense for me to be somebody who spends 30K to travel to Dubai. And this 30K is the travel, the hotel, and all the money I spent, even on buying gifts for my family and whatever, right? 30K. I wouldn't be able to spend that amount of money and have the holiday if in my mind I wasn't a person who travels, let me tell you, I'm going to be transparent with you, right? When I think about the Mpumi K Mbonane brand or the Mpumi K brand, I think of myself as an international speaker. International speakers travel. Now, do I want to long buy? I don't even know what's it's terminal A, I go international terminal. No. In my mind, I was like, I'm a speaker. I'm an international speaker. And international speakers travel. They travel across the board. Even if they travel alone, I had to be that person. Or at least in my mind, that's who I was, right? And so it makes sense for me to take a trip on my own to go to Dubai. It just makes sense. This is what I do. This is who I am. I am an international speaker. I am an international traveler. And so it made sense to go. And I had my holiday. I had my joy because I was a person who travels. I am an international speaker who travels the world. Okay? That was 2019. 2020, I wrote a book. Because I've always heard Wusi speakers have books, right? And so I wrote my first stint at a book, and I haven't been very vocal about this. A couple of people got the book. It wasn't very big, it wasn't very thick, but it was sufficient. And listen to the kicker, right? Listen to the kicker. This book was, I think, 3 steps to your success. Something like that. And this year, when I was promoting a retreat, what was the retreat about? Knowledge success. So in my mind, success has always been the thing. Success has always been the thing to have. And you know what I thought? I thought, Mpumi, this year at least, when I changed my mind or made up my mind, I was like, you know what you needed to be and the things you needed to do in order to get the success. If you sell people just the success and having these things, you are destroying them more than helping them. You are not doing them any justice. In fact, you are doing worse by them. You know, the thing is, you have to be the person that it makes sense for you to do those things, right? I said earlier, I think it was last month, that I always went to gym, but I absolutely hated it because gym for me was attached to other things, right, that were vain. And then this year, I started speaking more and more. And as I was speaking, I was so self-conscious. I was tucking in my tummy, ini. So going to gym or doing what needed to happen in gym, for me it wasn't happening. I couldn't do those things. What I wanted, which were abs and a perky butt and a cinched waist, all those things, I couldn't sustain that success. And I got those things, right? My body started shaping up nicely. But it wasn't sustainable. Why? Because I wasn't the person for whom those things made sense to do. And so even if I got those results, you know, it's like when you when you lose weight, right? The next time you gain weight, it's like your body gains weight with a vengeance, because like, oh, so it's easy for you to gain weight and make it hard for you. Our body is just very crazy. So I had to say, Mpumi, you are a speaker. You are a speaker, and you can't be a speaker who's insecure. When you're standing there speaking, you don't know what to do with yourself. Not you. I'm a big personality, guys. I love moving around. I speak with my body. I love doing it. But the fact that I was so self-conscious, for me, was a problem. But then I thought, Mpumi, who are you? Who do you need to be? Or who are you already? You're a speaker. So what do you need to do in order to be an effective speaker? In order for you to deliver well, to do your job excellently, you need to have a body that you can be confident with. You need to have a body that you're not insecure with, right? That is what I needed to have, that body. But before I could have that body, I needed to be the person. Because that person does those things. It's like, of course you do those things. Of course. It only makes sense. Because let me tell you something. Your life is only as fit as what you need to do. You know, people who don't work out, people who are just couch potatoes, it's people who don't have anything to do, right? But somebody who's athletes will never allow themselves to rot on a sofa, to eat chips and to eat pizza. No, because their life demands that they are in shape. Their life demands that they show up and they do well. It's because they're athletes, right? And athletes know, I need to do this thing because that is what my life demands. So what does your life demand? My life demands excellence, right? My life demands success. My life demands all the things that I'm now experiencing, all the joys that I'm experiencing, the happiness. My life demands that. The fulfillment, my life demands that. The impact, my life demands that I create that impact. The wealth, the thoughts that I have for my life, the visions and the goals and the dreams that I have for my life demand that. And so who do I need to be? I need to be a person that does the things that will get me the things that my life demands. I hope you get what I mean. So your life is only as fit as what your life demands of it. If your life doesn't demand for you to be up and going, of course you'll sit on the couch. You'll sleep all day because that your life doesn't demand anything else. But for me, the minute I'm watching series nonstop, and listen, there are days I relax and chill. But when I know that I've got work to do and I'm chilling, my conscience is like, hey, yay, you are a coach when you are a speaker when the person you are doesn't do these things. But what does the person that you are does? They speak, they go on live, on Instagram live, and share their principles and share their thoughts and share their ahas. This is what I do. Because what do I want to have? I want to have a fulfilling career. I want to have an impactful career. I want to have wealth. But that wealth won't come with me sleeping or watching series. It won't. It will come from me impacting the world. It will come from me saying, hey, I've got an intensive coming up that is called Pinpoint Your Purpose. It is for anybody who wants to receive the tools and the information to know with the greatest precision, with the greatest clarity, with the greatest certainty what their purpose is. It's only when I create that impact that I will get the wealth. That is how it works. But if I want those things and I don't do the things, it's a problem. But I can't do these things if I'm not that person, because it doesn't make sense to do those things. You know what I mean? So where was I? I was in 2020, right? Writing that book. In 2021, here's what happened in 2021. I decided to pay off my car. My car was supposed to be paid up 6 years later, but I paid it 3 years later. And here's why. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, Bumi, you want to build wealth. As a purpose practitioner, you want to build wealth. What are the principles of building wealth? Number one, it is having a good enough emergency fund saved up, right? It is getting out of debt. It is investing. It's always great to invest when you're out of debt, right? Because then you build on that, right? And I thought, people who build wealth or people who are wealthy don't have debt. Well, don't have debts they don't need. I know that there are people who are in investment property and they leverage debts and their investments pay off the debts. I get that. But for me, to kickstart my wealth journey, I needed to be debt free. And it's not that I couldn't pay off my car. I could. In fact, I'll get to 2022, right? And it's very important to understand how these sequence of events work, right? And so I thought a purpose practitioner, somebody who lives a wealthy life, gets out of debt. So what did I do? I paid off my car. And what that looked like was paying more than I was required. When I get a bonus into the account, when I make money in my business into the AVAF account, vehicle finance account, I was very adamant in knocking off this debt. Why? Because I am a purpose practitioner. I am that person that does the things. It makes sense for me to do those things. Why? Because I want to have wealth. Do you understand? 2022, guys, let me tell you, if I hadn't paid off my car, I wouldn't afford the house that I stay in now. And I'm being transparent with you. It was a part of the process. I had to be essentially on a clean bill. For the house that I wanted to have the house that I stay in that is big enough to host my whole family, that has a yard that can fit multiple cars, right? A house that I can have people experience a hotel type of living and stay in. A house that every time I wake up, and I'm trying not to cry, every time I wake up, I'm just like, Lord, you do this kind of thing? What? Me, right? To have this house, I needed to go on this journey. I needed to pay off my car. I needed to earn more. I needed to do the things that align with who I am. And that is a purpose practitioner. Now I'm paying this house. As it stands, I've paid, for the time that I've stayed there, for the months that I've stayed there, I've paid 3 times more than what is required. Because I'm on a journey, right? I'm on a journey. I want to have a car that is paid off in 2 years. It's stretching it 5 years. That is what I want to have. But I realize I can't have those things if I don't do the things. But before I do the things, I need to be the person. And a lot of people have called me. A lot of people are texting me. I've been inundated with emails. People asking me to mentor them because they're like, I want to have what you have. I want to experience the life that you experience. And that is not bad. I want you to have these things. I want you to have the house of your right now dreams. The house I'm staying at now is not the house of my dreams forever. I'm going to move. I'm going to build a bigger house. My life is going to keep growing as big as it needs to be. But right now, the house I'm staying at right now is the house of my dreams, of these dreams that I have now. Okay? I get it. I want people to have those experiences. I want people to be happy in the work that they do. I want people to show up confidently when they speak about their work. I want people to be able to vocalize what they do with certainty. I want people to have a lot of money. I want people to pay off their cars soon. I want people to have these things, but I'm sorry. You know, we are always told the dream is sold separate, or the work is the results are sold separate. That's a lie. They can't be sold separate because you can't have them. If you're not the person, if you don't do the things, you can't have the results. I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that. So that retreat, I had to call it off because I was shortchanging people. I was saying, oh, pay off your debts quicker. Oh, have all these things that you want, without allowing people or helping people become the people that do the things that are going to give them the things that they want. You get it? So I thought to myself, what is the best thing? What is the best thing that you can do? And the best thing that I can do is help people be. It's how people become. And the one thing that I am a genius, I am a master at helping people become, is a purpose practitioner. Because in all my life, maybe I've worked 6 years since leaving school, right? But the time things started changing. I started seeing a change. I started seeing a massive change when I became a purpose practitioner. I was telling somebody just now that I was never confident to speak to anybody around the bank about who I am. In fact, there was a time where I was mistaken for a graduate, and I was like, whoa. I was a graduate in 2018. But they didn't know me because I wasn't vocal. I wasn't confident. But now, I command the room. Now, I get invited over and over again to do things because they're like, there's something in you. We vibe with who you are. There's a vision here. But what I'm saying is the confidence that I have now in my career, the confidence I have now to speak to you and tell you about all these things that I've experienced and the joy on the other side, the confidence that I now have to speak to group heads, to tell them this is my vision. This is what I want to do. When I think of employment, this is what I want to do. And have them listen and understand and commit to making ways for me. The networking I'm doing now, you can't tell me anything. You can't tell me anything. And I can have this level of confidence. Why? Because I am a purpose practitioner. And a purpose practitioner does the work such that when the work is done, she can have the things. Right now, impact. Oh, impact. You can't tell me anything about impact. I know that when I open my mouth, somebody's mind is changed. When I open my mouth, somebody's life is transformed. People have been making employment decisions because of having gone through my program. People have been making life-changing decisions because of the information that I give them. You want to talk to me about impact? Come here. Come. Let's have a conversation. I know what impact is because my life is creating impact. My work is creating impact. And I know a time where I wasn't creating impact. I was designing mines. I was designing mine dams. Ask me how many of those were actually adopted, and they ask me. I was probably designing crap because there was no purpose there. There was no passion there. I have, guys, I was in sales when I started. And listen, I was doing good work. I was thriving. I was getting good ratings because I was competent. I could do the work. But was I impactful? No. And then all these years later, I become a purpose practitioner. I start my own business. I maneuver my way around corporate. And people's lives are changing. I know impact. I have impact. My life has impact. But I couldn't have those things without doing the things that would get me there. But I couldn't do those things because I wasn't the person. But when I became a purpose practitioner, it only made sense to create courses. It only made sense to be a speaker. It only made sense to be on platforms and share my knowledge. It only made sense to be a coach. It made sense for me to do these things because I am this person. I'm a purpose practitioner. And because I'm doing these things, guess what? People's lives are being impacted. I've had clients who have left their jobs, went back to school because they realized, no, this is not what I was supposed to be doing. And before she even went to further her studies, she wrote a journal. And that journal is creating chaos, havoc. Girl is having impact. And all those lives are impacted because I chose to impact her life. Because the work that I do is impacting her life. There was a woman who came to my program. She wasn't working at the time, and she's like, please sort out a payment arrangement for me, and I did. This woman now has established a non-profit organization. There are people from the Department of Social Development that are sending her posts like, come through, and she's saying no. She doesn't want to do any of those things because she knows what her purpose is. And she knows that she wants to accomplish that purpose via her NPO. I have somebody who is an award-winning author because of the work that I have done. I have people who have started their businesses because of the work that I have done. I have people who left the jobs they were doing, went into other jobs that are more fulfilling, that pay them more money because of the work that I have done. You want to tell me about impact? Come here. I know impact. I am creating impact with every word that I put out on social media, with everything that I say. I am creating impact with every client that I coach, everyone that I take through my programs. I know what impact is. Money. How do you think I managed to pay off my car? How am I living in the house I'm living in now? Money. Come on, don't tell me about money. I said the other day, it's easy to make money. And I know for some people it might be very pompous, whatever. No, but I am making money because I am presenting to people a solution to a problem they have. If I say to somebody, my program is 10,000 Rand. When you spend 10,000 Rand with me over a 2-month period, right? Over the next 10 months, you will be consistently making 10,000 Rand. Wouldn't you want to invest in that? If I could tell you, if I could coach you and give you information that would allow you to get into a position at work, get into a new position at work, that would make you 10,000 Rand more every month, wouldn't you want to invest in that? Tell me. We are back. If I say to you, you can start your own thing. Start your own consulting firm, start your own coaching firm, start your own product line, whatever, and make 10 times more what you have to invest with me. Wouldn't you want to invest in that? You would, right? So I find it easy to make money because I'm not haggling. I'm not selling to people. I'm not, give me your money. No, I'm saying this is what you want and this is what I have. But in order for you to cross the bridge to what you have, this is what you're going to have to put down. But don't worry about that because you're planting a seed. So the thing with the seed is you put it down. And for a couple of months, you don't see your seed. Your seed is gone. But what happens a couple of months later, you've got your fruit. And you eat your fruit. And once you've eaten the fruits, what do you have? A lot of other seeds. A lot of other seeds that you can go plant and make more trees. That one seed that you put on the ground gives you plenty of fruits on your tree, and all those fruit have got plenty of seed in them. This is how I want you guys to think about things, right? So I find it easy to make money because I am giving people a solution. People want to be happy in their jobs. People want to have jobs that are meaningful. And by job, I'm not just talking employment. You could be your own employer. I'm also talking about the creative space, the academic space, your nonprofit organization, full-time ministry, whatever that looks like. People want that, right? People want to make more money. Hey, Bo, have you seen Cyril's economy? People want these things. And I'm saying, I want it for you too. And here's how I got it. For me to have these things, I had to do these couple of things. But for me to do these things, I first had to be. And who I had to be is a purpose practitioner. And that is the only way I know to get people across. That is the only way I know to help people get the things that they admire and they desire and they want. That is the only way. And not only is it the only way that I know, it's the only way that has worked for me. I was a mind designer, right? I was a consultant in a technical consulting firm. I was an analyst in a sales team. I became a product development specialist. And those things were never fulfilling for me. When I became a purpose practitioner, when I started coaching, when I started speaking, when I started creating courses, oh, guys, I'm just saying, it's okay to want these things. It's okay. It really is okay. You are not crazy, or you are not vain, or you are not silly to desire these things. Desire them. Desire the big house. Desire getting out of debt. Desire a job that creates impact. A life that is purposeful and where you are impactful. Desire having money. Desire waking up every day to do work that you love. Desire these things. It's okay. And desire them to the point of having them. But before you have those things, you need to do a couple of things. You need to do a couple of things. And it'll only make sense for you to do those things when you are the person for whom it makes sense to do those things. It makes sense for me to do the work that I do because I'm a purpose practitioner. And so it makes sense for me to have the things that I have because I'm a purpose practitioner. That's all I wanted to say to you. You need to be the person that does the things that will grant you the things you want. The things you want to have will require you to do the things. But before you do the things, you have to be the person. It has to be, but of course she's doing that. Yeah, of course. Of course. It makes sense. She's traveling abroad. Of course. She's an international speaker. What? Of course. It makes sense. So it needs to make sense. But before then, you need to be the person. The order is be, do, and have. You will never have, because the impact of the input to having is doing. And the input to doing is being. So yes, desire all these things. Want all these things. But I'm telling you now, before you are the person, and before you do the things, you will never have. The question is that I'm seeing here, what are you doing in the banking industry, and how does that align with you being a purpose practitioner? I love it. What I am as a purpose practitioner is really, I'm a purpose practitioner producer, right? And that is, I help people align their purpose to their profession. I do that in my business every day. When I open my mouth, it's purpose practitioner. When I open my mouth, it's discover your purpose, align it to a profession. That is what I do. And over the time in the bank, I never got roles that aligned to this. I was always frustrated until I was clear and I said, listen, this is not who I am. The person that I am is helping people align their purpose to their profession. There are a number of people here at the bank who have professions, right, and have careers. And a lot of them hate what they're doing. And so I've been having conversations and I've been moving around, and I'm now at a point where, at a place where I can internally help people who are at the bank know what their purpose is and align it to a profession in the bank. So if they don't want to leave, because the bank that I work at is a great employer, I don't want to lie. If they don't want to leave here, we say, okay, then what is your purpose? Because this bank is so big. there's room for you here. And once they've discovered that purpose, then we say, where can we move you? Which parts can we move you at? So I've just extended myself broader. So now I can speak to somebody who says, but my purpose is in corporate, and I can help them on that journey because I've done it. Yay. Somebody who says, I want to start a business, Purpose Practitioners Club, I've done it. And it was very important for me to cover my bases as far as corporate is concerned. So this is what I do. I am in development. I am really where the conversations are had, where the people are, and where I can influence them to say, yo, buddy, here's where your genius is at, and here's where your money is at. That is what I do. But that is what I wanted to say to you guys today. And so I know a lot of people who are like, for me, I want these things. Guys, you have to be the person. And I am helping people become those people. I am producing my next set of purpose practitioners on the 11th of December in Sandton. Okay? On the 11th of December, I am running an intensive called Pinpoint Your Purpose. Pinpoint means you know with precision. You know a map, or when you get into a mall and they're like, you are here. You can't be anywhere else. This is where you are. That is what I want to do for the people who are going to attend the intensive, to say, this is your purpose. Without a doubt, without thinking twice, this is your purpose. And it's a function for me. It's a function of knowing who your purpose is attached to, knowing what you need to do, and knowing how to do it, right? So who you're called for, how you need to do it, and by what means or what channel. And before we can even get to the who, the what, and the how, there are a lot of things, such as knowing what God already put in you to achieve your purpose. Things you didn't even realize in you to achieve your purpose. And then, because no journey is wasted, at least in God, no journey is wasted. Being where you are now, if you don't like it and you feel like, there's more to me, right? Being where you are, that journey is not wasted. There are things you have gathered, or things that you have garnered, or things that you've built in you by virtue of the journey you've already had. And I'm saying, let's see how all of these things actually were part of the plan for your purpose, right? And the other thing is, then what is the need? What is the need that speaks to you alone because of how you are designed? What is that need? So understanding those things, understanding then who your purpose is attached to, how you need to serve them, and in what way you need to serve them, then we get to the purpose sweet spot, the why. The why. And when everyone leaves there, they will know what their purpose statement is. What is my purpose statement? I help ambitious and skilled professional women in corporate to pivot, right? To pivot into more fulfilling careers with more impact, with more income, by aligning their purpose to their profession. The fulfillment, the income, the impacts, it's here where your purpose and your profession align. So if you want to come to the intensive, on my bio, you will see a link that is on there. Click that link and you'll see it says apply. So click there to apply. Let's hop on a call. Let me understand what you're about. Let me see if you are a good fit for my program and if I am a good fit for you. Because we need to have a vibe check, right? You need to be my person. I need to be your person. We need to understand and get each other. So I just want to see, Guti, we are the right people for each other, that this is the right program for you. Because if it's not, I'm going to tell you, no, there are other people for this. But if your desire is to pivot into a more fulfilling career with more impact and income, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. And what I'll help you do is discover your purpose, at least at the intensive, and then say, now let's align this purpose to a profession, because that's where the money resides, okay? I need to travel home. It's late at night. I need to go home. But I'm so glad we had this chat. If we weren't having it now, we were never going to have it again. It's the income part for me. Lalela, sisi. Lalela. I love making money. I love having money. I love not stressing about money. And I don't stress about money. I don't stress about money because I've managed to get this thing right. And what this thing was becoming a purpose practitioner. That is the thing. That is the thing that I want you to become. Don't become me. Don't become somebody else that you want, that you see and that you like. No, become you. Become a purpose practitioner, because automatically you will do the things that make sense for who you are and make sense for your life. All right? And then after that, what's going to happen? You are going to have all the things you require. All right, so I'm going to go home. I love you guys. I'm so happy that we managed to have this chat. Chat later. Love you loads. Bye.